Well, good morning. Welcome back to Cityline. We are in our final fabulous segment, and with me now is someone, man, does she know how to wear a uniform. We're talking about Major Cheryl Kinnamon. She is the Salvation, with the Salvation Army of Tacoma, and she's here to talk about their services and what they're up to. Major Cheryl, welcome.
Thank you.
Look at you in the outfit with the epaulets, but I also love the fact that you are a major, and we're going to call you that, sister.
Okay, all right.
So for people perhaps who don't know, can you give us an overview of the Salvation Army? What does it do?
So the Salvation Army here in Tacoma has a family shelter that we run. It can house up to about 12 families. Our shelter is separate rooms, so you know, they're not dormitory style living. We also have a food pantry where Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday every week you can come and get a food box for your family if you need that. We have what we call our Shield Center, which is our social services. And that's where people would come who need help with rental assistance or utility assistance, or even just hygiene kits. Or they might need to come in and sit down and cool off or warm up.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
and then we have a food bank, which services not only our food pantry, but some of the other food pantries in our community.
Wow, the Salvation Army it covers everything. It just steps up and it fills the need, as we say, in this community. You've talked about hours of operation. You mentioned food. We mentioned housing. I want to ask the big question: who is eligible for these services, so we don't miss anybody who needs help?
So, really, anybody's eligible.
There we go.
We don't. I don't. There's no income requirement.
Good.
There's no age requirement. Anybody is eligible. They just need to come and have a need, really, and our case managers will help them with that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how would someone experience homelessness access? And it's the Jarvie Memorial Family Lodge. I love that it's called a lodge, because a lodge feels like home. So how would they access these? How would they access this program?
So they would access it through coordinated entry,
Okay.
which some people might not know what that is.
Yes.
You could call 211 and they would hook you up with that. We are trying to get ourselves so that we are able to do that ourselves, to be part of coordinated entry. But you do have to go through that. That's what all agencies use in the city or in the county, and so that's what you would need to do.
Well, and I love that, because there are, talk about lowering barriers. If you can just call one number and find out what you need, and they can look at the program and say, yes, and this is what it can offer you, and these are the qualifications, or there are no qualifications. That is such an accessible way to operate in a community that has barriers that we may not recognize popping up right and left. So what other major activities during the year can we see the work of the Salvation Army of Tacoma happen?
So not just the shelter,
Yeah.
but we also have the social service office, which is the Shield Center, where, you know, people can come and get hygiene kits or utilities or their rental paid. We also have, in the Salvation Army, we have what we call our core building, which is where we do youth programs and programs for adults there. We also have church services there. And so those are some other programs that we do. We have summer camp that we send kids to. We sent
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we sent 23 kids to summer camp for a week, residential camp this year. And so that's kind of fun. We also do Christmas is really the big thing that we do.
The bell ringers.
Yes, they're coming. They're coming in November. You'll see them. Yes,
That's
ringing the
right.
bell.
That's right. So you said they're coming in November. So How do we, so first off, bell ringers. If you want to be a bell ringer, how do you go about doing that?
So you would call our office, and if you want to volunteer, you would talk to our volunteer coordinator.
There we go.
If you want to, we do hire people. So you would call, and we would, of course, go through all the employment
Yes.
paperwork and get you hired. Or you might have a group. You might belong to a club or a group.
There we go.
You can also volunteer and take a day. That every time somebody volunteers, that's that much less that we have to pay, and that goes back into our programs. That is one of our major fundraisers every year.
Oh, I bet. We've got some good pictures here. So, oh my gosh, so this just in time. Let's talk about how do you acquire the toys and gifts that you distribute at that Christmas season. This looks like a Costco you were almost in or something.
That was actually Fred Meyer that we were in. Yes, they had donated some food to the food bank. Here's a kettle, volunteer standing at a kettle, raising money for us. So we get our toys from toy drives. This is a toy drive right here that you're seeing. The toy drives take place throughout the Christmas season. We also have the giving tree at the mall where you can come and pick up a tag and purchase for that. But there are other toy trees out in the community, such as the blood bank did a toy drive for us
that's a good
last
connection.
year. Les Schwab did a toy drive for us last year. So there are tags around, or you can call and say, I want to host
There we go.
a giving tree.
So the giving tree at Tacoma Mall, and I think that sometimes people don't understand how they work. So give us a quick just overview. So you walk up to the tree.
And on the table they don't really have a tree at the mall.
Right.
Because they don't really let us have one, but there's a table. And there's tags laid out on the table. And on those tags are representative kids who have, their families have signed up to get assistance. And so it's a suggested toy that you could buy, or a gift that you could buy. For teenagers, we do gift cards because it's very hard very hard to find a gift for them. But we also those places like Les Schwab or the blood bank, the tags are the actual kid will get those gifts, and so it will list what they have asked, or at least what their parents have asked for them.
Nice.
So
it helps narrow it down. So then there is those gifts. Are they distributed by the angels that work for you, or how do they get those items in their hands?
That's a good question. So what happens is we do have a band of volunteers who come and they take the list of the family's name in the wish list, and they will go around and shop like a toy store.
Yes.
We set it up like a toy store anyway, and shop for the gift and put them in bags, and we get ready to give them. It's all on one day. We do a distribution, and the parents come and pick them up.
I love that. So I can imagine that you can name the popularity of toys throughout the past year, Major Cheryl. So which ones, tell us, are no longer relevant for 2022?
Okay.
So maybe that's an easier way to narrow it down.
Okay, so light brights are not, because they were when my girls were young, but they're not now. Kids want things like Legos are always really popular for boys and for girls. LOL dolls are a big thing. That's something that's asked for a lot. For younger kids, believe it or not, there's educational toys parents are looking for.
Yes.
There's, of course, then there's the kids who want video games or even tablets. And there are donors who will give those kind of things, but we try to give them an appropriate gift. So
absolutely. So in the end, once you get through the holiday season, what else do you do in those off-season times to provide those toys to children? Because children need toys. They need toys, appropriate toys, year-round. It's part of their development. So how do you meet that need?
So they would talk to one of our case managers, and we would look at that and see what we have. We don't do any toy collections during the year, except that we just did one in July.
Oh, well, there
so I
we
shouldn't
go.
say that
Never
because
say never.
we did Christmas in July, and there were a couple different groups that took tags and collected toys for us. It wasn't real popular because nobody's thinking about shopping for Christmas in 100-degree weather like we had.
Right, but still.
But it was to get the Christmas is coming, and we do start thinking about Christmas in July. We don't wait until November.
That's right. Cheryl, last 10 seconds, who do you need to thank? Because nobody does it alone here.
Yeah. Oh, definitely we don't do it alone. So I want to thank our volunteers, our donors, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. I have a staff of about 19 people.
Wow.
And we serve a lot of people throughout the year, not just at Christmas time with those 19 people. And we couldn't do it without our volunteers or our community partners, because we do refer people and people are referred to us. So I do want to say thank you to our community partners, because that makes it all worth it, right?
And I want to say thank you to you so much for
thank you.
being here today. And I want to have you back on the couch sooner than later, okay?
All right. It's a deal.
That wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It truly is a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about, so please go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and above all, pay it forward. And when you get done, come on back. We'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. From the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. Place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, right, you're from the East Coast. Oh, and you're from the West. From the middle, but Tacoma's still the best. Oh, you're from the East Coast. Oh, you're from the West. Oh, you're from the middle, but Tacoma's still the best. Hey, Tacoma, that's my home. From the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. Place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. From the pines to the dawn. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. Place I call my